Namaste, Shiva Sandhya. It's a very special evening for us to even think of Bhagavan Sri Narasimha. It is not very common because usually we speak about Rama, Krishna, Sita Kalyanam is very common, Bhagavan Sri Krishna's Bhagavad Gita is very common. But thinking about Bhagavan Sri Narasimha is very, very special. People think he's a Rudra Deva, he's angry. So when we speak about Narasimha, we should be scared. Today, we are going to see so many different dimensions of Bhagavan Narasimha. We are going to dwell or immerse ourselves in the Anubhava of Lakshmi Narasimha. So let's transport ourselves to becoming Prahladas for the evening. We will relish, we will enjoy Bhagavan Narasimha from multiple perspectives. Okay. So Sri Lakshmi Narasimha Avatara. So the divine role of protection, compassion. We are going to enjoy the feeling of Narasimha. Our plan for the evening is to understand a little more details about Bhagavan, what all he does for his devotees, a little about his devotee Prahlada, and a very special sloka called Panchamrita Stotra. So this was specifically requested by Anuji, so we will be going into the meanings also of that sloka in addition to the sloka. So that's our transaction. And we'll also have part 2 coming next week, where we will be learning about Sudarshana. If you go to temples, you will see Yoga Narasimha on the backside of Sudarshana. Why is that? What do we mean by the Sudarshana Yajna itself? And a specific stotra on Sudarshana Bhagavan, which starts with Sudarshana Artakam, which is like Pratibhata Shreni Bhishana. We will be learning that stotra. So it's going to be 2 Fridays. This session is going to be there. So before we start, we will start with a sloka on Bhagavan Sri Narasimha. Yasya bhavat bhakta janatyantuhum pitritvamanye shavisharya durnam stambhe vadarastam ananya labhyam Lakshmi Narasimham sharanam prapadye. This is a Sharanagati sloka on Bhagavan Sri Lakshmi Narasimha. What kind of a deity are we going to worship today? Yasya bhavat bhakta janatyantuhum. The stotra does not start by saying, you killed Hiranyakashipu. This beautiful sloka says, the one who came to help all the devotees get rid of their problems. Yasya bhavat bhakta jana arti antu. All the enemies, we have so many enemies. Our own internal enemies, the problems that are around us. All these internal enemies, what does Bhagavan Narasimha do? He is coming here just to help us get rid of all that. So what did Bhagavan Narasimha do? He actually became the father to whom? To Prahlada, whose father was actually tormenting him. His biological father was torturing Prahlada. So what did Bhagavan do? He became so caring, like the father of Prahlada. So Pitritva Manye Shamishade Dunam Stambhe Vadarastam Ananya Latyam. So what did he do? He did not look for eligibility. He did not look whether it is the appropriate time, is it the appropriate place. Are all the requirements finished for me to come? He did not think of anything. Did he even choose his mother? No. Stambhe Vadarastam Ananya Latyam. He just jumped out from a stamba, a pillar. To this Narasimha, I offer my Sharanagati. So this is a beautiful Sharanagati sloka. We will be elaborating each of these thoughts today. So this is just the tip of the iceberg for now. So that Narasimha is the person for us to surrender. So that is this character. Yasya bhavat bhakta janati hantuhu vitrittvamanye shavishadyat purnam stambeva dharastam ananya labhyam Lakshmi Narasimham sharanam prapadye. Prapadye means surrender. So to that Lakshmi Narasimha I offer my surrender. I surrender to that Bhagavan. So in order to understand the Lakshmi Narasimha Avatara, Avirbhava, we have to go to the historical reasons of why that Avatara happened. This starts in Sri Vaikunta. The Dwarapalakas are there, Jaya and Vijaya. There are many devotees who go and worship Bhagavan in Sri Vaikunta. Once what happened? Great devotees called Sanat Kumaras wanted to go and worship Bhagavan. These Sanat Kumaras are very unique in the sense they look like little 5-year-old children. But they are matured great devotees. Now what happens is the Dwarapalakas mistake these 4 great saints to be actually small little children. So they shoo them off in the entrance. They say, no, you are not allowed to go inside. Step out. Bhagavan is taking rest. You can't disturb him now. So what happens is, these devotees have been yearning for a darshan of Bhagavan. I want to go have a darshan of Bhagavan. When can I go? How do I go and visit him? The moment a devotee wants to worship Bhagavan, their thoughts are filled with this emotion of how I can worship him. When will I get this opportunity, right? So with so much of bhakti and devotion, they are going to Sri Vaikunta only to be shooed away by the Jaya Vijaya Dwarapalakas. The Dwarapalakas think physical appearance decides the level of maturity. It need not. The Sanat Kumaras are a little upset and they say that your duty is to ensure that the devotees get united with Bhagavan. But for the devotees who are coming, looking forward to Bhagavan, you are just showing them away. This is a demonic trait. This is not the trait of a person who is in front of Vaikunta. So when this discussion was happening, they were cursed. In fact, they don't even have to orally curse people. When the devotee feels hurt, the hurt automatically transfers into a curse. Now Bhagavan appears because the devotees are hurt. Bhagavan cannot sit inside, right? So Bhagavan rushes to the entrance and he says, the very fact that you all are hurt makes them go to Bhuloka. The worst curse for devoted people is to be in Bhuloka. So they are cursed to come to Bhuloka. Bhagavan tells his Dwarapalakas that I am giving you 2 options. One is you can have 100 births in Bhuloka as my devotees. Alternatively, you can have 3 births. Just 3 times you will be born. But in all these 3 births, you will be enemies, intense enemies. Imagine reducing 100 births into 3 births. What will be the intensity? So the births will be intensive, you will be demonic, and you will be my enemies. Which of these 2 options do you choose? Now the Dwarapalakas immediately say, we cannot get separated from you for 100 janmas. Impossible. So we will rather choose the 3 births, even if we have to be your enemies for Bhagavan. So what happens now? The Dwarapalakas are cursed and they have to take 3 births. So they are born as Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakasipu in the 4th of their births. The second time they are born as Ravana and Kumbhakarna during Ramavatara. Then finally during the Krishnavatara time they are born as Shishupala and Dandavatra. So these are the 3 times where the same Dwarapalakas are born and they are completely inimical to Bhagavan because of this curse. This is the background. So Bhagavan has to take the avatara in order to help them come out of the curse. So that is also on Bhagavan. Bhagavan himself has to kill them and release them. That was on their request. They said, Bhagavan, we don't want to die in anybody else's hand. You have to come ensure that you release us from these 3 cycles. Bhagavan blessed them. So this story is on one side where because of the Sanat Kumaras being respected by the Dwarapalakas, they were born on earth. So this being the background story, now what happens? Hiranyaksha was killed by Bhagavan who took the Varaha Avatara. Is that right? Now, Hiranyakashipu is the brother of Hiranyaksha, Dwarapalakas, Jaya and Vijaya, right? Now, Hiranyakashipu is completely annoyed. They are now in this loka. They are torturing people. They are tormenting everyone. And everybody is now scared because of these two demons. They were born to a great Prajapati called Kashyapa Prajapati. The wife is Diti, and because of the negative influence, they are demonic in nature. They were conceived at a wrong time, because of which they are demonic in nature. Now they want to conquer the entire world, not just the Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Mahaloka, all the other planets also they wanted to conquer. Everybody are scared, the Devas are scared, the planets are scared, even Brahmadeva is scared. So many things are happening. At this point, Bhagavan takes the Varaha Avatara. He kills Hiranyaksha. That episode is done. We are not going to expand on it. Our focus today is only Narasimha Avatara, so we are going to focus on Hiranyakashipu. So Hiranyakashipu is now extremely angry. He's forgotten his devotion to Bhagavan as Dwarapalaka because he's taken a role because of the curse. So what he does tapasya to Brahmadeva. And what is the purpose of the tapasya? That is to get a lot of powers so that he can win Bhagavan himself. So what happens? He does his tapasya for a very, very long time. Now Brahma is obliged to give him the boons. Brahmadeva appears. Sometimes a question comes in our mind. Why should all these boons be given to negative people? Right? Will the gods not decide who should get benefited by the boons? Why are all these boons coming to everybody? That's a normal question we have, right? So let us just take a current day example for us to understand. Suppose there is an entrance exam to get our medical degree. Okay? There is an entrance for medicine. People write the exams. How are they evaluated? They are evaluated based on how they perform in the examination. If we want to join some college, we write an exam. Depending on our marks, we get admission. Similarly, for the boons that are granted, the qualification is how well they did the tapasya. Did they have complete focus? Did they have proper concentration? Did they qualify based on the requirements for that particular purpose for which they did the tapasya? Depending on that, they are granted the boons. So this does not have anything to do with, is this a good person or not? No. This is based on whether you did whatever was required for getting your outcome. So Brahmadeva was obliged to grant him the boon because he qualified, he had that perseverance to do the tapasya. So Brahmadeva appears. Now Hiranyaksha is already gone. Hiranyakasipu, angry because of this, is asking Brahmadeva, can you grant me immortality? Because my brother died, I don't want to die. Grant me immortality. Brahmadeva says, this is beyond my jurisdiction. I cannot grant you immortality. Ask something which I can grant. So, he is extremely intelligent, right? He served in Sri Vaikunta. He decides that I will make the clause so tight that there will be no way for me to die. So he decides, okay, what I am going to ask is, so he decides that he wants to have a foolproof way of ensuring that he lives. So he says, I should not die during the daytime. What happens at night? I should not die at night time. He covers the whole thing. Okay, the framework is so tight. Neither during the day nor during the night. I should not die inside my palace, I should not die outside my palace. So it's again foolproof. He says, I should not be killed by a man, I should not be killed by an animal. Again, he's protecting himself. And then he thinks, what else can kill me? What if some weapons kill me? He said, I should not be killed by any weapons. I should not be killed in earth. What about the sky? I should not be killed in sky. So he basically thinks of everything and completely protects himself. Grant me such a boon. Brahmadeva says, Tatastu. He did not say anything else. He said, okay, so be it. And he goes. Now, what was the original nature of Hiranyakashipu? He was tormenting everybody. He was conquering all the other worlds which did not belong to him. Now, what will happen to his nature, his animosity, his grudge? Everything increased multifold. He now wants to make sure that he becomes a terror because he thinks he is not going to die. He thinks he is immortal. He thinks he's conquered everything. So this is on one side. Now let's just go back to the time when he was going on a long tapasya. Okay? The moment he decided to go and do a tapas, Indra is scared because he knows about Hiranyakashipu. He's already been tormenting everybody, right? So Indra thinks that we have to some way protect ourselves. At that point of time, he comes to know from his internal sources that Hiranyakashipu's wife, Kayatu, is pregnant. Now, he thinks, oh my God, this one Hiranyakashipu itself is tormenting us. What will happen if his generations keep increasing? Okay, the demon's child is also going to be a demon. Together, what will be the kind of situation we will undergo? So he decides to kidnap Hiranyakashipu's wife, so that part of worry he doesn't have to have. Okay, so when Hiranyakashipu was very busy doing his tapasya, he decided, okay, I am going to kidnap Kayatu and maybe I will handle the child. If it has a demonic nature, I am going to destroy the child. I am going to ensure that there is no progeny there. Now Narada Maharishi, divine Rishi who can foresee the future, he interrupts Deva. He says, hey Indra, what are you trying to do? You are kidnapping Kayatu? This is not the right thing to do. He says, but she is pregnant. What about the child inside her womb? Narada Maharishi says, he is going to be a blessing for all the Devas. You have to ensure that the child is born properly because he is your only savior. So ensure that the right knowledge goes to the child. So what Narada Maharishi does is, he protects Kayatu from the hands of Indra, takes her to his ashrama and does a lot of upadesa. So he teaches the child all what is required even while the child was inside the womb of Kayatu. So the child listens to all these inside the womb. Will children learn when they are inside the womb? Today, the scientific studies show that the children learn. Our itihasas, Puranas have a lot of such information, not only for Prahlada. This might be worth noting for us because when we speak about Abhimanyu, when we speak about Parikshit, when we speak about Ashtavakra, all these great people, they were in the womb when knowledge transfer had happened. Parikshit was inside his mother's womb when Bhagavan went and protected him. Parikshit was the person because of which we have Bhagavata Purana today. Right? So he was inside his mother's womb when a Brahmastra was sent to him and Bhagavan entered his womb to protect Parikshit. So at a different time when we are discussing Bhagavata Purana, we will go into detail. So when the child was born, the child was looking everywhere to see if he is able to recognize the Bhagavan who he saw when he was as a fetus inside. So Parikshate iti Parikshit. They say he was checking everywhere. Where is the Bhagavan that I saw inside the womb? That's why he was called as Parikshit. He was named as Parikshit. So such beautiful things we have. What about Abhimanyu? The Chakravyuha explanation, how to enter the Chakravyuha, was explained by Arjuna when Abhimanyu was still inside the womb of the mother. So when he came out, he already had the knowledge of it. He didn't know how to get out of it. That's why he got caught during the battle. Ashtavakra corrected his father's recitation when he was inside the womb. Such great things are there in our Itihasas and Puranas. Now, what does science say? Science explains that fetus can hear whatever is told when they are inside the womb. Science explains that children can even memorize words when they are still inside the womb. It also explains about what we see about Abhimanyu may not just be a story anymore, right? So all these are getting proved now. The fact is these are told thousands of years back in our scriptures. Now coming back to what Hiranyakashipu did, he is now extremely angry that Indra tried to abduct his wife. So he comes, he retrieves his wife, and by that time Prahlada is filled with Bhagavad Dhyana. Narada Maharshi explains about Atma, he explains about Paramatma, he explains about the purpose of life. Everything the child came to know when he was a womb itself. He is filled with devotion. The devotion is so into Prahlada that at any point of time, Prahlada is seeing Bhagavan everywhere. He is able to relate everything to Bhagavan Anubhava. Seeing this, Hiranyakashipu could not tolerate. His purpose was to ensure that the world itself is conquered by him. Not just Bhumi. He wants to conquer all the worlds, all the planets. And now this little child, Hiranyakashipu is not able to conquer him. Whatever he says, the child still prays to Bhagavan. So Hiranyakashipu is extremely upset. He tries to bring some sense, according to him, into the child. But the child seems to be beyond repair in Hiranyakashipu's eyes. So what is the second option he will do? He will start torturing the child now. That's the only thing he knows. So what does he do? He does various other things to torture the child. The different tortures that are mentioned, it's like, will a father even think of doing these on a child? But to Prahlada, none of this actually mattered, because he is seeing Bhagavan in everything. He was left inside a room which had all poisonous snakes. Today, the research say that when a snake is there, people don't die because the snake actually bites. It is because of the fear of snake, people get a heart attack even before they die because of the bite of the snake, right? So that fear is there in people. But for Prahlada, he saw them as Adisesha. Everything Prahlada related it to Bhagavan. He sees a flower, he thinks of offering it to Bhagavan. An elephant is sent to stamp Prahlada. He thinks of it as how my Bhagavan gave Gajendra his moksha. So whatever is there, our little Prahlada tries to associate it to Bhagavan, Bhagavan's Anubhava, Bhagavan's Abharana, something related to Bhagavan. This is a very, very important lesson for each one of us. From Prahlada Charitra, one important input we should have is, how do we associate anything and everything to Bhagavan? Early morning we get up, we see a flower. The moment we see a flower, it's like, this flower should be an offering to Bhagavan. In fact, great sages, I read in one of the lectures in Madhva's detailing. A person was going on a pallak, and there were a lot of flowers grown on either side. So this Acharya, the Madhva Acharya, was thinking, how beautiful it will be if I can take these flowers and offer these as a garland to my Bhagavan. So internally in his mind, he was doing a dhyana, a visualization of offering these flowers to Bhagavan. So the Aradhana need not be physically done all the time. If you can do it physically, well and good. Many times if we are not able to do, the Aradhana which we do mentally is equally powerful. So the Mana Aradhana was done by this Acharya. So mentally he plucked up each of these flowers, he actually adorned it and he offered it to Bhagavan. And there was another yogi on the way. So he was visualizing this Acharya offering it to Bhagavan. But when the Acharya was offering, the garland was always asymmetrical. So he was wondering, why is it asymmetrical? Why is the garland not actually suiting Bhagavan properly? He asked his devotees, his sishyas who were nearby, why is it not, even? Why is there an imbalance in the garland I am offering? These sishyas, they could not even visualize what was happening. It was a offering in their Acharya's mind. How will they know why it is asymmetrical? They are like, we are not able to give an answer to this because we are not able to visualize this. So this other yogi who was actually sitting in the street nearby, he did his namaskaras and he said, can I offer the answer to you? They were like, yeah, sure. And then he said, Bhagavan is having his Shankha Chakra on one side, so try to put the garland behind the chakra, then it will become proper. So visually, when the Acharya did that, then both became symmetrical. So this is one of the recorded texts actually. So what this Acharya was visualizing could be visualized by another devotee also. So much of affection, attention, detailing, everything was done by Acharyas mentally itself. So what was happening to our Prahlada? His Anubhavas was completely in his mind. It was a reality to him. It was a reality to Bhagavan also. So he was visualizing every single thing as a Bhagavad Anubhava related to Bhagavan. So our main learning from Prahlad Halwar should be, whatever we see, we should associate it to Bhagavan. We see a flower, think of how we can offer it to Bhagavan. Prahlada could even think of the snakes as Adishesha. Right? So when we start associating these things, simple thing, the wind is blowing. In so many places, Bhagavan says, I am this Vayu. In Bhagavad Gita he says, Prana Apana, I am the Vayu. I am the Vayu which you breathe inside. I am the Vayu who is inside you. I am the Vayu, I am the Agni who actually tries to digest your food. All these are told by Bhagavan. So when we feel hot, it is Bhagavan in the form of Agni. When we feel it very pleasant, when we feel the air touching us, it can be the Bhagavad Anubhava that we have. Every single thing. The Vak, it is Bhagavan. Bhagavan says, Vangmayam Tapa Uchate, every word that you speak, it's because of me that you speak. So when we associate every single action to Bhagavan, our life becomes a spiritual journey. So this is one important thing that we have to learn from Prahlad Halwar. So all these tortures, the elaboration of all this is done for us to realize even the tortures can be construed as experiencing Bhagavan. I'm just going to explain one or two things which are really touching. One is when Prahlada was on top of a mountain and Hiranyakashipu had asked his people to push him from the top of the mountain. This little child is 5 years old. Usually, anybody will fear. Just think about, people have fear of heights, right? Even when we go to a very high floor, looking down, we are like scared. We are, oh my God, it's so high, I don't want to look down. Now, Prahlada is on top of a mountain. All the subordinates of Hiranyakashipu are now going to push Prahlada. The child, what is he supposed to do? He's supposed to beg. Please don't kill me, I will obey what my father says, right? What did the child do? The child kept his hand in his heart. Why did he keep it in his heart? All the acharyas are saying he was not worried about himself. He is seeing Bhagavan inside his heart. Now he wants to protect the Antaryami Bhagavan. So the child is actually protecting his heart while he's rolling down. So that Antaryami is protected and he's not hurt. Seeing this, will our Bhagavan be quiet? Bhagavan actually held him, protected him from the below the mountain. You know, like a lotus petal hand. He actually protected him as if he was falling on a lotus. So Prahlada was protected. What we are, Bhagavan becomes that to us. Bhagavan is like a mirror. When we show so much of love, affection to Bhagavan, Bhagavan reciprocates. He's like our father. He's like our father, right? So that Anubhava is one of the very moving things of the child Prahlada. When we celebrate Holi, people have this Holika Dahan the previous day that is associated to our Narasimha Avatara. The Holika Dahan, the campfire that people do, it's because Hiranyakashipu wanted to throw Prahlada into fire. For that, he requested his sister, Holika. Holika had a boon that the fire will not hurt her. So he said, fire will not hurt you. So what I want you to do is, take my child Prahlada with you. Fire is of course going to hurt him. So he will burn in the fire. You can happily come out. At least I will get rid of this son. Because all my subordinates are not able to obey me. Maybe they are scared because I am the king. They don't want to kill the prince. So you please do this favor for me. So she decided, okay, I will do because my brother wants. So she hugs Prahlada, goes into the fire. The fire is going to burn Prahlada. In fact, Bhagavan Narasimha is said to have 3 eyes. He has 2 eyes and his 3rd eye is called the Agni itself. So Prahlada sees Bhagavan's eye here. The Trinetradari, he sees the Agni of Bhagavan. Will that Agni burn Prahlada? He was very cool, but because Holika misused the boon that she got, she was burned to ashes. So that is why Holika Dagan is performed where all the negative things are burned to ashes and Bhagavan protects the positive things. So that is attributed to Narasimha Avatar. One very important torture, this is mentioned in Vishnu Purana, not in the Bhagavata Purana. It's very touching, moving, where Hiranyakashipu decided that this child is very difficult to kill. So he decided to submerge the child in the ocean. In order to submerge, he was not convinced that tying the child to a stone is going to help. He asked his subordinates to tie multiple mountains to the back of the child so that the child will never come up. So what happens? The little Prahlada is there. On top of him, multiple mountains are there and he is tied. At this point, Prahlada is doing the Aradhana to his Antaryami Bhagavan. So he still worships Bhagavan with Nischala Bhakti, undivided attention, utmost concentration. He is offering his devoted service to Bhagavan. So he is bound, he is thrown into the water, mountains are placed on top of him. All these are mentioned in Vishnu Purana. But Prahlada keeps remembering Bhagavan. Now what will Bhagavan do? Bhagavan appears in front of Prahlada. I don't even know what should be done because Bhagavan could not wait till Hiranyakashipu Samhara. Bhagavan was in a situation where he could not be without giving darshan to Prahlada. So Bhagavan rushed and he protected Prahlada and he asked, what can I do to you? Ask me for some boon. I really have to give you a boon. So he protected Prahlada and he asked. Now Prahlada looks at Bhagavan. What do you think would have been the boon that he wanted? What did Prahlada ask? Bhagavan is come, he is asking, what do you want, my child? What do you think Prahlada said? Prahlada says, I always have to remember you irrespective of the problems I have. Now Hiranyakashipu, now Prahlada says, I want to remember, I want devotion. Now Bhagavan is like, I cannot give you something which you already have and then call it a boon. I am here in front of you because of that kind of devotion. Because of your Nischala Bhakti, I am there in front of you. Now, I cannot say that that is the boon that I give you, right? So ask me for something else. So Prahlada said, okay, Bhagavan, maybe because of your blessings, I have that devotion. But what about my father? Please grant me this one wish. I want to see my father performing all the spiritual duties that he is supposed to do. My father should become such a devotee where, in my own eyes, I want to see Hiranyakashipu perform all the aradhana to you, O Bhagavan. Prahlada says this. Now, this is the reason I told you about the history of the reason why Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu are born. Now, connected to that, they are supposed to be demonic in nature. They are supposed to be killed by Bhagavan, and that is why Bhagavan has to appear. All these are predetermined. Now, this little Prahlada says, I want to see my father performing all the austerities to you, O Bhagavan. He should be devoted. Now, this entire storyline will change. But Bhagavan has told Prahlada, I will give you what you want. Bhagavan is now caught between the two things. What will I do? Will I satisfy my devotee Prahlada, or will I satisfy the boon that I gave the Jaya Vijayas based on all the Sanat Kumaras? So Bhagavan does something which we cannot imagine. Bhagavan manifests himself as Hiranyakashipu. This is such an interesting thing where Bhagavan becomes Hiranyakashipu. He wears this Dvadasha Urdhva Pudra. He performs all the austerities, all the rituals to his own murti in front of Prahlada. Prahlada watches all this. So he satisfies Prahlada by becoming Hiranyakashipu. Think about to what extent Bhagavan will go for a devotee. He becomes a demon by himself who performs austerities. So all this is happening on one side. But now, parallelly, the other side of the story has to continue because of his boon to the Sanat Kumaras and the rule of Jaya and Vijaya being cursed. So this happens. Now, parallelly, the other episode happens where, in spite of all the torture, because Prahlada did not die, Hiranyakashipu's anger knew no bounds. He is asking Prahlada, who is protecting you secretly? I really have to know this. There is some power which is protecting you. Tell me who is this person. I will kill him first so that I can kill you later. Now Prahlada says, the one who is making you talk like this is the one who is protecting me also. He is the one who is in you. He is the one who is in me. He is the one who is there in everyone who makes everything work the way it works. Hiranyakashipu is not convinced. He goes on to ask, how could all my people not kill you? How could Holika not kill you? How could throwing you in the ocean not kill you? Today, it is going to be an ultimatum. Okay. I am going to ensure that I kill you in person because I don't trust others. They are not doing justice to what I ordered. So I am going to kill you in person. So he looks at his entire palace. What is the best way for me to kill this child? So he says, where is your support hiding? Tell me that. So he goes and inspects every single place, every single chair, every single item in his palace. And he says, where is he? Is he in this? Is he in that? Where exactly is he hiding? He says he is there everywhere. I am seeing him everywhere. In fact, Prahlada does not even say that I believe he is everywhere. Prahlada says, I am seeing him everywhere. Then Hiranyakashipu comes to one particular stamba, one tomb, a pillar. He remembers that that pillar was constructed under his supervision. He himself was supervising that particular pillar. So he's asking, Anand, you'll get caught because I know nobody can hide inside. I was there when this was constructed. So he says, is your Hari inside this stamba? Prahlada had a regular routine of addressing Bhagavan as Sri Hari. Harar Harati Papa Ani, they say. Hari, the term Hari means the one who will snatch all our sins. So Prahlada He used to keep reciting Hari, 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 Hari. So now Hiranyakashipu was asking, is your Sri Hari hiding inside this pillow? Because he was like, there's no way he'll be inside this pillow because this was constructed under my supervision. Prahlada said, I am seeing him inside this pillar also. Now Hiranyakashipu decided, this cannot be true. Okay. He says, if your Bhagavan is not there inside this pillar, I am going to cut your head. I am going to kill you. Now this child says, but he is there, I am seeing him here. Now what happens is, Bhagavan, earlier because of his dual boons, what did Bhagavan have to do? He had to become Hiranyakashipu, I said, right? Because he had to take care of the Sanatkumaras on one side and of Prahlada on the other side. Now similarly, Bhagavan has to take care of all the boons that Brahma gave. Do you recollect what all Brahmaji gave earlier? He said, Hiranyakashipu will not die during the daytime or during the night time, neither inside the palace nor outside the palace. He will not be killed by a man nor an animal. So Bhagavan had all these rules in his mind. Neither on earth nor on sky nor by weapon, everything. We have to remember this. That's when we can appreciate the Narasimha Avatara fully. So Bhagavan is remembering all these, and he also remembers that he should ensure that Hiranyakashipu is killed. So what does he do? Not day, not night. So he decides to do his avatara during the twilight time. Sandhya Kala we say, right? So exactly around this time. This is the time when Bhagavan Narasimha actually did his avatara, his manifestation, his avirbhava. Because he was not born to anyone. So that avirbhava happens neither during the day nor during the night. Once he does the avirbhava, he should neither be killed inside nor outside. So let us enjoy the Narasimha Avatara to see what all Bhagavan did. So now, he has decided that he should neither be a human nor an animal. So what did Bhagavan do? He decided he is going to have an animal face and the body as a human. He is still not decided which animal. Okay. Now, in the fury, in angry tone, Hiranyakashipu says, if your Narasimha does not, if your Bhagavan Sri Hari does not appear, I am going to chop your head and throw it to a lion. Now Bhagavan gets a clue. You are going to throw my devotee's head to a lion? You are now going to be the feed to a lion. So Bhagavan decides to have the face of a lion because his devotee was supposed to be killed by a lion in Hiranyakashipu's thoughts. That's when Bhagavan decided to have a face of a lion. So now his face of a lion is ready, his body of a human is ready. So you will not even know, is it a human, is it an animal? It's a combination of both. So where do we categorize? So that rule which Brahmaji gave, neither by a man nor by an animal, that is taken care of. Neither during the day nor during the night, so he comes at twilight. Now, see in this pillar, think about it. Humans give birth to humans. Animals give birth to animals. Non-living things do not give birth. What about Narasimha Avatara? Stambevadharasta manangalabhyam. Narasimha Bhagavan, the ultimate God, is born to a pillar. He did not even think of how can I be born to something which is standing there. He came from the pillar. So Bhagavan appeared from the pillar. So he is asking, is he in this pillar? Before that, what did Hiranyakashipu do? He went to different places and he was questioning. Now, do you think your Narasimha is there in this wall? So what did our Narasimha do? Sri Hari. What did he do? He entered the wall. Then he asked, is he in this particular lamp? Bhagavan entered the lamp. Whichever place, because the child can show. And immediately Bhagavan had to come, right? So he was ready. Like with all a dress rehearsal, the artists are ready to come to the stage. Bhagavan was there. So at one point, what did Bhagavan do? Prahlada can show anywhere. Because Prahlada said, I am seeing Narasimha everywhere. Anoraniyan, Mahato Mahiyan. He is inside the subatomic particles. We say that we discovered these atoms and molecules recently, right? In Prahlada Charitra, which happened in Satya Yuga, he says Anoraniyan, he is in the subatomic particles. Mahato Mahiyan, he is bigger than the biggest. He is the entire cosmos is his form. So he is there everywhere. So he is in everything. So the moment he said that, what did Bhagavan do? In this Narasimha form, the face of a lion, the body of a human, Bhagavan entered every subatomic particle in the entire cosmos. Now, Prahlada is there near this pillar. Hiranyakashipu is taking his knife and he is going to chop off that pillar, and he is checking if Sri Hari is there. Is Bhagavan there in that pillar now? He's of course there. He's everywhere now, right? So the moment he chops that, Narasimha just plunges and comes from that particular pillar. Because for Prahlada, Narasimha was inside the pillar. For Hiranyakashipu, the pillar was black. Nothing was there. So the moment the pillar was struck, what happens? Bhagavan appears. As if he was waiting for this opportunity to appear, Bhagavan just comes out of this pillar. This is beautifully mentioned in Bhagavata Purana. It says that Satyam Vidhatum Nijabhritya Bhashitam. Why did Bhagavan appear? Did he appear because he wanted to kill Hiranyakashipu? No. My little devotee said, I am there in this pillar and I will come. Satyam Vidhatum Nijabhritya Bhashitam. To make the little child's words be true, Bhagavan appeared. How did he appear? Na mrigam na manusham. He was neither a mriga nor a manusha. He was a combination of a human and a lion. And what did he do? Stambhe sabhaya. In that sabha, he did not go to a particular place to do this avatara. The location where he was shown, in that sabha, in that pillar, from there he appeared. So our Acharyas very beautifully say, Narasimha Bhagavan now made the stamba his mother, because he was born to the stamba. So an inanimate object became the mother of divine. So it became a grandmother of Brahmadeva, because Chaturmukha Brahma is the son of Bhagavan, right? In Padmanabha Swami temple we can see Brahma is born from the Navi of Padmanabha. Padmanabha is the same of Narasimha. So what happens is, Brahmadeva became a grandchild of that stamba which was there in Hiranyakashipu's palace. Even today, if we go to Ahobila Kshetram, that is where this episode happened, this entire Narasimha Avatara happened, there is a place called Ugrastambam. The entire palace is now become a huge mountain over a period of time. We can climb on top of the mountain. We can do a parikrama to that Ugrastamba. You can still see the stamba top there. People go worship that stamba because it is the mother of Narasimhadeva. So that stamba is still there. This sloka is mentioned in Bhagavata Purana. Bhagavan maintained every single boon given by Brahmadeva. So what happened is, he is now come out of the stamba, but he is supposed to kill Hiranyakashipu only in the twilight time. There is a few more minutes left for that. So what does Bhagavan do? He starts playing. He is doing this running and chasing. If you read Bhagavata Purana, it will say that Hiranyakashipu was running on one side, Bhagavan ran on the other side. He roared loudly. All this will happen. Why? Time pass. I have to wait for the appropriate time. I have given the boon to Brahmadeva. So he had to wait. Now he is running around and he is roaring, and this roar of Bhagavan was heard in this entire 14 lokas. All the lokas had this kind of a shake that happened. Nowadays we say, right, there was an earthquake in some country. Oh, it measured to this extent. Usually one particular part of the earth will have a slight shake, which we call as the earthquake. Now this shake did not just shake a part of the earth, it shook the whole earth, not just earth, it shook all the lokas above and below earth. So it was a magnificent Bhuvaha Swaha quake, whatever is the name for it. Multi-loka quake happened at that river. There was shaking everywhere, and that roar terrified people everywhere. So the magnanimity, the size, the visualization of Narasimhavatara can be understood from this. The roar was heard in multiple lokas. So Bhagavan ensured that evening time, Sandhya Kala, was the exact time where this happened. Now the next rule is neither inside the palace nor outside the palace. So what does Bhagavan do? Bhagavan drags Hiranyakashipu. It should neither be on the land nor on the sky. He puts him on his lap. Neither on the floor nor on the sky. Now the next thing, no weapons are supposed to be used. What will Bhagavan do? So we call Narasimha Bhagavan as a Ugra Bhagavan. Does he carry weapons? No. Nakavyapara, says Acharya. Only his nail was used. In fact, Nakastuti is a very great stuti which is about the greatness of the Naka of Bhagavan. They say that Sudarshana Bhagavan entered the nails of Bhagavan at that time to help Bhagavan accomplish this. So Sudarshana is the Naka of Bhagavan in Narasimhavatara. So what happens? Bhagavan had to use his nail just because of what Brahmadeva gave as a boon. So Hiranyakashipu was killed adhering to all these rules. Brahmadeva said, granted, granted, granted. Here the implementation had to be done by Narasimhadeva. He adhered to everything and he ensured that, because that is also a blessing for Jaya Vijaya. It was not a cruel thing. That is how they had to do. So that was happening. So what do we have to know about Bhagavan? Bhagavan was an Avirbhava. At that second, spontaneously, immediately he appeared. It was not a gradual life story. Think about all the avatars which we usually admire. Rama Avatara, all the devotees had to go worship Bhagavan. Bhagavan said, okay, in Treta Yuga I will take the avatara. Till such time everybody had to, so many problems were there. They had to adhere to all these problems at that point of time. And then Bhagavan had to wait for the Putra Kamishti Yagam to be done by Dasharatha. He decided, I am going to be born for Dasharatha and Kausalya. All these were done. After that, Bhagavan came and took his avatara along with his brothers. Now think about it, everything is spontaneous. None of the other avatars. Think of Krishna Avatara. Even in Krishna Avatara, Bhagavan decided, okay, I am going to be born to two parents. Not even to one set of parents. So two parents are going to be born. On one side, Vasudeva and Devaki are there. On the other side, Yashoda and Nanda. So he managed everything and he was born. Now this Narasimha, did he check for the eligibility of his parents? No. It is just mother, no problem. Mother alone is enough for me. So Bhagavan spontaneously took the avatara without seeing anything. Is my avatara worth this little 5-year-old child? The child is born to a demon. Should I come for him? Should I rescue him? None of this were asked. He just came there spontaneously. Oh, I am usually a very good-looking person. In Krishna Avatara, I am such an adorable cutie pie. Should I become like this ferocious lion? Bhagavan did not think that way. So he became so beautiful in the eyes of devotees. People call the lion as Adagya. They say he's the most beautiful thing because the person who is there when help is required is the most beautiful person. So our Lakshmi Narasimha is the most beautiful person because he does not wait for anything. He comes, he appears when help is needed. Now we said Bhagavan entered every single subatomic particle, right? One stamba was broken and Bhagavan appeared. What happened to every other place where Bhagavan occupied? He is still there in every single place. So every atomic particle we see here, the air that is surrounding us, billions of particles are there, right? Inside every single thing, who is there? Lakshmi Narasimha is there. Bhagavan Narasimha is occupying every single thing. Inside this table, inside this chair, inside our ornaments, inside our watches, inside our phone, inside everything, Bhagavan Narasimha is there. That is because Prahlada wanted him to be. So, Bhagavan Narasimha is the most beautiful deity we can admire. So this beautiful deity, his urgency to help his devotees is visible from his Vigraha itself. If you look at this Vigraha is called as Ma-Lola. Ma means Mata Mahalakshmi. Lola, the husband, the beloved of Mata Mahalakshmi. We think Narasimha Bhagavan is furious, but this deity beautifully holds Mata Mahalakshmi on her waist. And look at his feet. He's having a sandal. He's wearing his paduka in his feet. What does that signify? It says that he is waiting whenever the devotee calls for devotion. Because if I have to go out, wear my sandals and go, it will take a few extra minutes, right? Prahlada did not have that luxury of that time. So Bhagavan was all set, all ready. He was with his sandals at that time. So this deity is the deity who is wearing his sandals in his Vigraha Rupa also. So he is ever ready. So whenever you see this Bhagavan with his padukas, you should remember he is ready, waiting. All that is required is for us to have that devotion and call him out. The moment we call him, he is there. He is going to help us out. So the avatara that arrives instantly is our Ma-Lola, our Lakshmi Narasimha avatar. In Tamil, there is a beautiful phrase which says, Nalai என்பது நரசிம்மனுக்கு இல்லை. There is no tomorrow for Narasimha Bhagavan. It is that chana, that second, Bhagavan will appear. So that is Bhagavan. So what does Bhagavan do? The very fact that if I call, he is going to come. He is wearing this beautiful sandal on his feet. And look at the smile in his face is Ma-Lola, you know. In fact, some acharyas call him Ilchavaya. He smile. You know, that's such a beautiful God. Even Bhagavan Rama has his Mandahasa. But Narasimha has Attahasa. Ha 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 ha. You know, that's the way he laughs. So they call him Ilichavaya. You know, he always has this beautiful smile on his lips. And the moment Mata Mahalakshmi is there, he, you know, has her so close. And people say that for Srinivasa Bhagavan, Mata Mahalakshmi was inside his chest because she wanted to create that karuna. Whoever comes and asks you anything, please keep blessing them. So Mata Mahalakshmi is inside him to create that karuna to bless all of us. Here, seeing such a beautiful Narasimha, Mata could not just wait inside. She wants to keep admiring, so she's moved to his lap so that she can keep seeing him. Look at the posture. She sits there and she keeps admiring him. And the other eyes is on us. Please help these people. So Mata Mahalakshmi protects us with one eye, but she cannot stop but admire the beauty of Bhagavan with the other eye. That is why she is sitting in his lap. So that's why we worship him as Lakshmi Narasimha, so that pleasant, that blessing, that karuna, that combination, that beauty, that immediate readiness with his sandals, everything can be worshipped at once. That is Ma-Lola. So this Ma-Lola Bhagavan does not make us wait. He's always ready, he's always going to help us. So much so that Mata Rukmani wanted to send a Sandesha to Bhagavan Krishna. Who is the most beautiful avatar? If you ask me, I will say it is Krishna. Okay. Krishna is like a darling, you know, the little Krishna, he's so cute for us to admire. Now, Mata Rukmani is going to get married to Krishna. And she is writing this letter telling him, please come, you should kidnap me. She writes exactly how she should be kidnapped and sends it through a Brahmana to be hand delivered to Bhagavan Krishna. In that, if you look at this particular shloka, the last line says, Kare Nrisimha Naraloka Manobhiramam. So, Kare Nrisimha Naraloka Manobhiramam. Hey Rama, hey beautiful, hey pleasant person. Kare Nrisimha, you are the lion. So, you are so beautiful all your traits cannot be compared with anyone. And Rukmani in her letter to Krishna refers to Narasimha. Okay, so Acharyas refer this sloka as Narasimha. There are some who call this as line among men is what is mentioned. But there are Acharyas who say that this refers to the beauty of Narasimha Avatara. Even when Krishna is addressed for beauty, it is Narasimha who is addressed. Okay, so he is a singer who is Alagiya singer, who is a beautiful singer, who is admired by everyone, including Rukmani Devi. So when we speak of this beautiful admiration, there is a temple called Mangalagiri, where we can go and offer Panagam to Narasimha. So we said Bhagavan Narasimha came in the evening twilight time, right? So that is the time where we offer Panagam to Bhagavan Narasimha. Panagam is a jaggery liquid. In jaggery, we add some elachi, we add some ginger powder, and we make a liquid. It is supposed to be a very special thing to be offered to Bhagavan Narasimha because he was in this Ugra Rupa. So to console him, this is given. And we offer it as a prasad, we consume it after that. This Narasimha in Mangalagiri, irrespective of the size of the container you take, you offer the Panagam, you will hear a sound where Bhagavan is gulping it. Gada, 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 you know, the sound you will hear. After that, he will return exactly half the contents of your container of Panagam back to you. Exactly half. If you take a huge container, half of that will be consumed by Bhagavan. If you take a smaller container, half of that will be consumed by Bhagavan. Even now, people go and offer that to him. He is such a beauty. Look at his mouth. You know, he is introverted. He smiles. He happily accepts whatever we offer to Bhagavan. So if we want to offer, we can still today go and do it. So Bhagavan, as I said, is there in every single atomic particle. Because of this, our Acharya, Arishingar, the 44th Arishingar, wrote a Sharanagati sloka on Bhagavan Narasimha. So I will recite this, you all can follow after me, a very beautiful sloka which you can practice on every day also. This takes like 30 seconds. Once you know it, it can be part of your regular routine itself. Mata Nrisimhascha